welcome to the WOOLapyk podcast. My name is Ida and this is a podcast about knitting, hand-dyeing yarn and little bits and pieces of my life here in Roskilde, which is in Denmark. And I live here with my boyfriend, our daughter who's almost 2, and my boyfriend's daughter lives here every other week, and she just turned 10. So she's now in the 2-digit age range. I want to do this fairly quick. I say this every time, and always, somehow, every time I decide that I am going to do a quick podcast, it turns out to be longer. But I think this time it's going to be fairly short. I don't have that much to talk about. Yeah, so first off, I have finished object, which I am wearing. This one was hot. I think it was finished last time, or maybe I just needed to weave in ends and do some blocking on it. But this is the Cumulus blouse by PetiteKnit. I knit this in 1 strand of Esta silk mohair and 1 strand of my own hand-dyed yarn in the colorway Hylde. And this is the silk, no, not silk, this is the superwash merino nylon base that I'm used. The original pattern calls for 2 strands of a silk mohair, but I wanted to use some of my own yarn, so I decided to do this instead, and I'm really happy with it. Yeah, I'm not going to stand up and show you because that's just going to be really awkward. I can't see myself on the, I don't have like a camera where you can kind of turn the screen so you can see yourself, so but if you're interested in sort of seeing it in full size or full length, you can go onto my Instagram, which is also just called WOOLapyk, and there are a picture on there. I may put in a picture here too. I'm probably not going to do that because, yeah, so just go on my Instagram if you want to see what it looks like in full size. I didn't really do any sort of adjustments to it. It's a pretty simple pattern, and it's just stockinette stitch, and you have the I-cord at the neck and the hem, and on the, what's it called, sleeves. That's not called the hem, the sleeve opening. I did do one mistake as I was doing the I-cord on one of the sleeves. Don't know if you can tell. I was supposed to start sort of underneath here and then do the I-cord, and then you sort of seam it together, and at this point I did it on the wrong end, so I did it up here. But I actually did, I think I did a pretty good job. You can tell that obviously that I've done a little bit of seaming, but it's not super visible, and it's not something I think about when I wear the sweater. I also had to do some stitching here because when you knit, it's knit top down, and you sort of knit the neck opening flat, and then you join here, and it's sort of hard to get it even. At least I find that, and I've been looking at other projects, and it looks, at some of them it looks like they've had the same issue as I have. But I did some seaming, and it's a little visible. You can see that some of the stitches are pulled a little bit, but it's not that visible. It's not something that I think that people would notice. I think people would only notice it if I mentioned it to them. That's what I'm trying to say. It may also be because this is knit with a strand of superwash merino nylon, and that makes it more visible. I feel like the silk mohair is a little more forgiving because there's so much fluff, so it may hide the joining of the 2 sides a little better. Yeah, so that's it. My Cumulus blouse by PetiteKnit. That's actually my only finished object. I do have sort of a finished object, I guess you could say. Last time I showed you my, or I showed you a little hat or bonnet that a friend of me had asked me to do sort of ears on, and I asked you guys if you had any idea how to make those ears, and a lot of you mentioned the Fairly Bonnet, which is a free pattern on Ravelry. It's in both Danish and English, and it's a really cute little pattern, and I just used the directions for how to make the ears, and this is what it looks like. Let's see right here. It's actually a pretty, I'm really happy with the ears. They are not situated, as you can see, completely identical in terms of placement on the hat. But I tried it on my daughter, and it looks kind of cute that one of them is a little more sort of towards the front and on the side than the other. Just makes it cute. So I was considering, I still have the ends to weave in on this one, because I was considering pulling it out and just make it more even, but I kind of like it. So, and I'm also lazy, so if I can avoid having to do that. Oh. Okay, so I'm back. My daughter just woke up shortly. But I was talking about how if I can avoid seaming, I will, and if I can avoid having to rip back my seaming and do it again, I definitely will. So I'm pretty sure these are going to be the way they are right now. And I'll just weave in the ends and gift it to her. It's a lot colder now than it has been all summer, so it's actually, my daughter wore a hat yesterday for the first time, so she needs this now, basically. Yeah, so I have two objects that I have been working on. One may not look like I did a lot of progress, but I did, because this is my Tegna sweater by Caitlin Hunter or Boylan Knitworks. And last time I was showing you how I had twisted when I cast on and joined it around, I twisted it, and I basically had done, I think it was around here with the lace section when I found out, and I had to rip it all back, which I did, and I recast on and I knit it all again. So I've actually done quite a lot of work on this one, even though it may not look like it. So this is as far as I've gotten. I have used just the same skein of yarn for this, because I did not want to have to alternate skeins in the lace section, and I figure that since it's lace and there is quite a lot of decreasing, that it would be fine. There wouldn't be any pooling or anything. So, but now I'm at the stockinette stitch, and I'm going to join in the second ball of yarn to get an even look of the fabric. I have not done any modifications to the pattern. I did cast on fewer stitches than I initially did for my first round, because as I was ripping it back and got it off the needle, it was very big. And I know that the pattern is meant to be oversized, but the circumference was it was too much. So I cast on a size smaller, and I think this is going to be perfect. It does have a lot of stretch, as you can see. So I think this is better. The only, well, I guess I did one modification. At one point in the pattern you have to, I think it's knit 4 together, and I do not enjoy that at all. So instead I would knit 2 together, then I would slip that stitch back on the, I think I'm going to do it when I have the yarn here. So I would knit 2 together, and once I had those 2 together, they're obviously on the right needle, I would just slip them back onto the left needle, and then I would just slip those 2 next stitches like this. Let me just show you. So we are pretending that this is 2 knit together. I would slip it back on the left needle, and then I would just sort of pass those 2 stitches over. That just worked better for me. It was quicker, and it's not that big of a difference in the way the fabric looks. I don't think so. But that's the only thing I've done differently. And that's mainly just because I'm lazy and don't want to have to deal with the hassle of knitting 4 together. I am using my own yarn, which is, this is a Corriedale, 80% Corriedale non-superwash and 20% nylon base that I currently I have it in my advent calendar, but I don't have anything coming at the moment. It's a very small supplier and they don't have it available right now. So I do have another cordial base that just came in the other day that I'm going to talk about in a little bit. So yeah, I really enjoy it. It's a kind of a grey with reds and yellows. I don't know, you may see it, I don't know. It's kind of hard to capture on camera. On camera it looks very uniform, but there are definitely specks of different colors in here. I may try and see if I can get a photograph on it, but it's very hard to either record or photograph. Yeah, so that was my Tegna sweater. I am definitely not going to have this finished. I don't think I am going to have this finished for Knitwork, which is a knitting festival here in Denmark at the end of this month, last weekend of September. But I think I may knit a couple of centimeters more, and then I'm going to block it, and then I'm just going to have it hanging there so people can see what the colors look like once they're knit up. I'm going to do the same thing with some other yarns that I have. I think I'm going to do some swatches and things like that, because it's always nice to see what the yarns look like once they are knit up. That was the side note. But I am going to be at Knitwork. If you are coming, please come and say hi. That's always really fun, I think. So my next work in progress is for my daughter Esta. And it is the Hylde Bluse by Anne-Sophie Jespersen. And it's a pattern from this book. I talked about this a lot. It's called Omhu. It just came out in Norwegian too. It's a very beautiful book with children's patterns for babies and kids ages 0 to 4 years old. And I am knitting, actually I can show you here. I'm knitting Hylde Bluse, which is the one right here. The pattern calls for 150 grams of yarn for the size that I'm knitting, but I think I've done some modifications, so I've knit the sleeves longer and the body longer, so I think I'm going to run out of yarn, but that's purely because I have knitted longer than what the pattern calls for. I think if I'd followed the pattern, I'm knitting a size 1 to 2 years old. If I'd followed the pattern, 100 grams would have been enough. But this is what I have so far. This is the front and the back. There's like supposed to be a little button here so you can close. Nice and big to get over the head of a child. And I just started on the lace section right now. Like I said, I knit the sleeves longer. I also have knit the body longer. And I am going to leave out, oh my goodness, I think I just put the yarn in my teacup, which I have right here in front of me. Okay, doesn't matter. I'm going to leave out that last bit of yarn over sections at the bottom. I don't know if you can see, there's like, basically I want the bottom to look like the top here with just a triangle shape. I don't want those extra yarn overs there. So I'm going to leave that out. So the lace section is going to be a little shorter, but even so, it's, yeah, I think 100 grams for a size 1 to 2 years old is fine. What I'm going to do is, once I run out of yarn, I just started on the lace section, as you can see right here. But once I run out of yarn, I have this much left. I'm just going to add in a white yarn for the rest of the body. I think that's going to be fine. This again is my Superwash Merino Nylon and this is the Mist colorway, which is just a very pretty colorway I find with Bluse. I'm going to do a retake of this. This is a colorway with greens and sort of sandy grays. Yeah, actually that's it, and just different tones, if you can tell. It's really pretty. I wanted to knit a swag for a while, and I think this would be a beautiful color for the main color. Okay, so I'm just gonna shortly talk a little bit about some yarn I just received the other day, 2 days ago, because it is beautiful and I have to show you guys. So this is what I received. I got a DK weight Mesh and BFL blend, which is very, very soft. I am going to knit myself a Tecumseh with this yarn. So this is the base color. It's a grayish brown color, and I just tried dyeing a yellow on it yesterday, and I definitely have to add more color because it's a very I don't want to say hard, but it needs a good amount of color to sort of over dye this base color, which is very beautiful in itself. I think what I want to do is use this as the main color of the Tecumseh, and then the two contrasting colors are gonna be something that I dye, obviously. And I have a few different color combos. I think a pink and yellow would be beautiful as contrasts. I'm also thinking berry and blue. I don't know. I think I'm gonna dye up a few different ones and then decide at that point. And the smell, this just smells amazing. It smells like sheep, but a very clean sheep. It's gorgeous. And it's a single ply, as you can see. And then I got another Corriedale, but this is a 100% non-superwash Corriedale. It is very tightly spun. I don't know if you can see. So I think it's going to be excellent if you want to knit socks out of a just 100% wool yarn. It is gorgeous, I think. I'm so in love with both of these. They are both from the UK, and they are spun in the UK too, so they are, and obviously they're all mulesing free and things like that. So they are very sustainable, and I like that a lot, and I think a lot of you guys do too. So I tried dyeing up Moonstone on this one, and it actually turned out quite well, and it does take speckles quite well as well. Which some non-superwash bases, they just do not. They just sort of bleed out in the water. But this one I was surprised at how the speckles look. They look quite good. It's not the same as a superwash base because they're just super crisp when you speckle, but it's definitely better than other non-superwash bases that I've tried dyeing on. So I think these are going to be regulars in the shop, depending obviously on how the customers are going to receive them as well. But I'm really, really happy with these. I'm going to have one, to have this test knit. I just dyed up, like I said, Moonstone, and I have a test knitter who's going to knit up the Stockholm sweater by PetiteKnit in Moonstone, and then a sort of fig/black colored silk mohair from Esta, and I think it's gonna be gorgeous. Yeah, that's it. I think I was pretty good. I know I've been talking quite fast, but like I said, I want it to be short because then it's easier for me to edit, obviously, and I also have other things I need to do while my daughter is still napping. I need to do a lot of labeling of yarns. Oh, and also I need to mention this. I've done a advent calendar. I didn't talk about it on the podcast, and it sold out super quick. Like within 4 hours, I was just blown away. So it was amazing. But I am dyeing it up right now, and I have dyed a few extra skeins of each color. So you receive 4 colors and 1 for individually wrapped skeins of yarn. Then so you can open them up on each Sunday leading up to Christmas. And so I've dyed extra skeins, and I'm gonna put those in the shop probably at around the same time that I upload this. So if you watch this on YouTube and you are interested in getting your hands on an advent calendar, like I said, 4 skeins of yarn, 100 gram skeins of yarn, and some extra goodies, hurry up and go to the shop. I'm gonna announce it on Instagram too. I think I've dyed up 5 extra calendars, so it's not a lot, but just some people were a little bummed that they missed out, so I thought I would do that since I had enough yarn for it. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed this short little episode. If you did, please hit the thumbs up button. It makes it so that other people who are interested in knitting and things like that can find me on YouTube. And that really is something that I appreciate so much when you guys do. Also, obviously, feel free to comment. I really enjoy your comments, and I do try to reply to each one of them. If I haven't, I'm sorry, but I try to reply to your comments as soon as I can. So that's it for now. Have a very nice day or evening, depending on what time you're watching this, and I will talk to you later. Bye!